The class you start as in Dark Souls 2 is absolutely no guarantee of where you'll end up. The warrior may become the holy cleric, or the sorcerer may forsake his books and become the knight. Remember, all your starting class does is give you a small boost to the stats you'll need for that playstyle. But before we get to stats, we'll need to explain where you level up and how you actually do it. Back in Majula, you'll find the first bonfire. Right near it will be a woman named the Emerald Herald, who you should have a chat with.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse?
She provides you with your first Estus Flask, your most treasured healing item. She also offers you the ability to level up your character, should you have the souls to do so.
Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
Now let's talk more about you. The character stats in Dark Souls 2 can be a lot to get your head around, so we'll go through them one by one. On the left are your 9 stats you can level up. Each time you spend souls to level up a stat, your character level increases by 1, and the amount of souls you need for the next level increases as well. On the right are the attributes that increase as you level up your character, shown in blue. This should give you an idea of what leveling up each stat does. As you increase your stats, your weapons that scale with stats will do more damage. Different stats will also level up your resistances to various magics and various status effects like bleed or poison damage. Different armors and shields also carry with them their own resistances to these elements. And on the other side of that coin, certain enemies are weak to specific elements. For example, fleshy enemies are vulnerable to bleed damage, and heavily armored foes don't have a good time with electricity. If you need help on this screen, then press select for a description, but let's go over the stats now. Vigor relates to your health. Upgrade that and your health bar will increase. Endurance is the same thing for your stamina bar. And vitality relates to how much equipment you can carry. The less equipment you have on you, the faster you'll move and roll. And the less stamina will be used in combat. Edging towards your maximum weight will make you roll like this.
The attunement stat governs how many spells you can bring into battle, but also the speed at which they're cast. Every build that uses spells should invest in this stat. Strength is fairly straightforward. Some weapons will become more powerful the higher your strength stat is, and these weapons are really good at breaking enemy defenses through sheer force. And dexterity is similar. Certain weapons will scale up in the damage they do along with your dexterity, and these are usually finesse weapons like bows or rapiers.
Adaptability is a new stat that increases your survivability across situations. You'll become more agile in almost every movement you make, and you'll increase your ability to resist toxins and dangerous elements in the world. Do not underestimate this stat. Down the bottom, intelligence increases the power of your sorceries and fire magic, and similarly, faith increases the power of your miracles, lightning, fire magic, and dark magic.
There's one other attribute we want to talk about today, and that's poise. Poise essentially makes it so there's less of a chance you'll be interrupted by an enemy attack. Different pieces of armor will contribute a different poise rating, and essentially the higher this is, the less the chance you'll be interrupted while performing your own attack. The heavier your armor, the more poise it will give, but the slower your character will be. So you're going to have to experiment, try on different armors, and see if you prefer the heavy character who tanks hits, or the lighter character who can't afford to get hit.
All weapons, most spells, and some armors have stat requirements that must be met before they can be wielded properly. For example, here we have a greatsword, which requires 28 strength and 10 dexterity. That's compared with this short sword that requires 14 strength and 6 dexterity. In the case of weapons, two-handing effectively halves the stat requirements, so that greatsword is available to us even if we only have 14 strength. On this note, bear in mind that Souls games treat stats as more of a means to an end. Try and get the stats you need for the gear you want, and after that, don't worry too much more about it. It's important to level up your avatar in Dark Souls 2, but it's more important to level up yourself.